beautiful passing play right there, Sean.
What a save! Woo! Talk about a move.
Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Welcome to the GCH podcast. I'm Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest, the co-owner or the owner of Filthy Fives, Darren Carr. How you doing, Darren?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
All right, cool. Well, it's glad to have you. So for those of you that don't know, Darren is from Morris, Minnesota, right?
Yep. West Central Minnesota, little town.
Yeah. And you guys just got hit with some weather just recently, right?
Yeah. It's been nothing but blizzards here. Yeah.
Oh, man. When's it gonna end? But it sounds like a typical April for you, though, right?
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Well, yeah, this one's maybe a little bit stretched out, but there isn't gonna be any Easter eggs to be hunted here because they're gonna stick out in all the snow we got.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
So now tell us a little bit about how you got into the Filthy Fives and or not Filthy Fives, but how you got into hockey and to developing these training tools that you have developed.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it started about 6 years ago because that's when my son started playing hockey. 6 or 7 years ago, he was 6 when he started officially playing hockey, and it was kind of like through necessity. As I was helping coach, helping him, I kind of ended up learning the game of hockey with him, and we had some struggles with some things that I thought maybe could be improved, and it just spawned ideas, and from there we just kept growing it and going from there.
Oh, that's awesome. So how's he doing now? Is and this stuff clearly working, right? Because you're now making money. 'Cause you're like, it's a proven track record.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, we're a B team hockey. We're B level hockey out here, and there's something about he definitely uses the stuff, but I think he's kind of like, oh, Dad, you know what I mean? I don't think it's nearly as fun and cool all the time when it's Dad's thing, but. Yeah. He's definitely helped me with the ideas. Yeah.
Cool. So now tell us a little bit about the association that he plays with.
Yeah. So we're just a small association. I think we have maybe 100 kids in total from mites up. So like his age group, he's going to be a Bantam. There's roughly 20 kids. So we're pretty small. And we don't have ice all year at our rink. So after meeting you guys, we were kind of like, hey, maybe we could use this space to do some inline hockey. And our board has been talking about it because it's a rink with no ice, a concrete floor. The boards are up. It'd be a great opportunity for kids to just keep kind of playing. I know a lot of them do summer hockey. My kid does too, but he was excited to think about it because he likes rollerblading, and he's like, hey, we could do some 3-on-3. We could just keep doing something.
I think roller hockey and ice hockey, I think if they quit picking apart each other and actually come together to make it not necessarily more feasible, but to get rid of the stereotypes or how, skating on inline is going to ruin how you skate on ice, or how you skate on ice is going to ruin how you skate on inline. I never got that. I didn't get into hockey until much later. In my career, like I started out playing, roller, just skating because there was no rink close by. On inline skates, ever since ever since they first came out, I was in like the mid 90s or early 90s. It was like 92. Even though the original inline skate came out in like 1872 or something like that.
What?
But it just,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just never really caught on. I think it was like a European or a British thing that was invented back then, and then it kind of like got put in the wayside when everybody came over. Yeah, and but yeah, so like you just have like all of this opportunity to, because it gives you different game scenarios. Because the games are very similar. The only thing that really changes is it's 4-on-4 instead of 5-on-5. So so it's like it's great for power play building. Like if you get, you can run a short bench. You don't need a ton of guys to play.
Right.
Like you can do like you said, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, which is what I like to see. You can even practice with 5-on-5 just to get that team chemistry going, especially if you have a big enough rink. But you can always shrink the rink up too to make it fit however many kids you guys got. So that way everybody's, playing and playing hard.
Right. Right. Yeah. There's a lot for us to learn. I mean, it just hasn't been very big, at least where we're at for sure. I don't even know about the state of Minnesota. You guys probably have a better feel on that, but I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I started. Like when I was younger, I couldn't be in ice hockey. There was no way. My dad's like, no, we're not
Yeah.
paying for that.
Right.
He had the thought that this had the stigma that it was so expensive and stuff. And I don't know. I'd argue it's just as expensive as everything else anymore, really. But
It really is. Like the other sports are starting to catch up because now, before you didn't have, when you were playing football, you didn't have to pay for the football pads, the helmets, all that. The associations paid for it for you. All you had to do was go out and buy pants with pads in it. That was all you had to do.
right.
And
Right.
now you got to pay for your helmet, you got to pay for your shoulder pads, and then you grow. Especially when you're just a itty bitty guy, 6, 7, 8, and now you're, all the way up into high school. You're going to be buying, 4 sets of helmets, and with ice hockey, you can adjust your helmet, so which is really really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I remember playing on tennis courts. That's kind of what we did just for fun.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I mean, but it was like with a ball and stuff. I mean, they didn't have, I don't know, they didn't have these cool pucks and whatever.
The technology, the technology has just grown so fast and so much that you have like the rocket puck, the IDS puck. Now you have the Stillmat puck that's coming out. Those guys are playing on a like the sport court that you'll see like at your Narch, your State Wars, your tours, and all that. Your summer tournaments that you'll see here in the next several weeks, because it's going to be starting to kick up pretty soon. And then you got like the Masters, for the World Championships are coming up in what did Franny say, in Memorial Days when he's flying out. Those are going to be held in Italy. I mean, inline hockey is pretty predominantly what this podcast will cover, along with all the other things. But we try to incorporate all things hockey, and with the European pro leagues that they have, with teams in Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, Italy, France, Spain, China has a really good program. The Chinese Taiwan team, they went to the World Skate Games, which is essentially the World Championships now, and they dominated their juniors, the men's juniors, and it was insane. Like the scores that were coming out from like this town or a country that wasn't even very good 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like they could hardly score 2 goals a game, and now they're putting their diamond kid 18-2, 12-4. I mean, it was an incredible jump in such a short time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. So let's get back to this. Now you guys got some pretty cool swag too. We got this at the Let's Play Hockey Expo. Much appreciated. I wear it every chance I get. I know my fiance, she's wearing the other one that we got too. So right now,
awesome.
In bed, so
awesome. Yeah,
I love this shirt. It's so comfortable.
That's great. Well, I'm glad you guys love them. That one, that's the one earlier when we got talking. That's the bad weather hockey one. So that was the one that led me into the blizzard here. So we can still run around in that because we're still getting bad weather. But yeah.
So now you have a couple of training products too, right? One of them you sent to us, the puck dozer, right?
Yep. So the puck dozer, I sent you guys one of these customized. It came out of when I was helping coach. I had to move pucks around to different stations, small area games, things like that. And instead of using my stick sideways, bent over, trying to push 30 pucks, I was like, there's got to be another way, right? And we used to take the goalie stick and, you could move a few pucks with that. But instead of just flinging them and everything, you can fold this out, and then you can push up to 28 pucks with it, and you can stick the toe of your stick in here, and then just push everything. And then we added a few other tweaks.
I love how you have a distinct number of, like, this is the max number of pucks you can push is 28.
Yeah. I think at the show I was like up to 30, you know.
Yeah, right.
I think somebody in my family was like, well, it's like 28, isn't it? It's like, well, you know, if you get them, you can get a few more. Yeah.
Right. So you were going to show us a little bit about some more. You were going to do something with the puck dozer there. You're going to show us what else it would do.
So right before the show, when I met you guys, so this thing lived its whole life as sort of just flat all season long. We'd use it, like we'd send the kids out after warm-ups. We'd have to round up pucks and bring them back to the bucket, and they'd go out and push all these. And then right before the show, one of the coaches we work with said, hey, that thing's great, but if you could get it off the ice, I could use it during practice too. So then we added some legs to this. So I don't know how well it'll show up, but then it sits up off the ground. So you can actually use it as like a stick handling deker, you know, fit flat, and it's about 2.5 inches up. So I don't know, like you guys use pucks, right? Like a special puck?
We use like it's a plastic puck that has like, I kind of hate to say buttons, but it's got little knobs that go through the puck that kind of keep the main puck suspended. And then it's kind of like not necessarily like a slip, not a slip resistant, but like a slapperier surface to really glide on top of that sport court, because it's mainly playing on like a sport court with like plastic tiles. And then it just slides really well. And then now like goalie pads, you'll see like at the pro level all the way down to the MyHa league that we cover, they have like the goalies will have these slide pads that are on the inside of their goalie pads so that they can push and slide just like an ice. So it's really, so like the goalies actually have a much better, you know, I think it's like inline hockey is a great tool for ice hockey as far as the goalie situation, because it really does give you that ice to or like how do I say that, like the ice to plastic floor slide feeling, you know, like when you're, you know, going from end to end on, you know, in your crease. So it's really cool to see that. And it makes the scoring that much harder when you have a goalie that can move like an ice goalie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My kid picked up a couple of those. I think we used to use green biscuits, and then he bought a couple of these. I think they're green biscuit. I'm looking at them, but they got the little buttons on them like you're talking, but he loves them on like the synthetic ice. Like we put synthetic ice out on our shop floor, and he's like, man, your guys' style puck just works awesome on that. And from my understanding, the green biscuit ones, they're weighted a little bit heavier to be just like that of a ice hockey puck. Even though, from what Franny told me, and this is my buddy Mike Francis plays pro inline, you know, with me years ago, but he still continues to play now. He is actually on the Masters team for Team USA, and his interview is going to be dropping here pretty soon. And he told me like the puck is the same exact weight as that of an ice hockey puck. The only difference is that it's denser in the vulcanized rubber puck versus the actual roller hockey style puck. Sure, right. Huh. No, that's neat. Well, then I think this would work for that too. I mean, same concept, and should be high enough for a puck. So you can use it to, you can use it to stick handle, use it as a deke. There's guys that have been putting them down and using it as like an obstacle, right? So you can do your toe drags and shoot around it.
Yeah. And the same thing with and those that play ball hockey, they can use it to, you know, pick the ball up and hop over. You know, that's another great tool option for them as well. Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of neat how it changed and has grown over the last year or so in design. And, you know, now it's kind of like Swiss Army knife, hockey training tools, I guess.
It really is, because you can do so many things with it. You were talking
Yeah.
about even slapping a rubber band across it at one point to get you like a little shooter, little assist helper there.
Yeah, like a little bounce back. I haven't
Yeah.
tried that since we came back, but man, there were people that really wanted to. They were interested in our bouncer that I bought at a store. I was like, I guess I
Yeah.
should make those.
There you go. So now, and you also have another product too called the what's it called?
The five right.
Yeah, the
Yep.
5 right. Yep.
Yep, that was the first one that we started with to replace PVC tubes. So USA Hockey had a bunch of drills for stick handling where you used a PVC tube, and this was actually the stick my kid used when he was a mite, and this is
nice.
what drove me to go to the 5 right, because I couldn't get this tube over his knob on his stick. So then I had to untape his stick every time, and then he'd get bored about 3 seconds after he used it, because it's just meant to strengthen your top hand. So it's really just for, you could use a wrist roller instead,
Mhm.
So it's meant to just do this, but that isn't very realistic to hockey. So we came up with a wrap instead. So this just wraps around it, and
Well,
then
now,
it's adjustable.
and the reason why you came up with this was because kids would be death gripping the PVC pipe, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, it wasn't very realistic to hockey. So now this slides on there and it's adjustable, and it still forms a tube. So you still get the strength on the top hand, but you also get grip strength in your lower hand by squeezing it. So it'll increase like your snapshots, but you get fast hands, so you can still slide and move easy. So it's really meant to train both hands, because I mean, you use both hands for stick handling and playing hockey. So
heck yeah. It's a universal tool right there. So it's, that's a couple of them. And then of course we got a couple in the works that I don't know if you want to talk about those yet.
I don't want to say too much. You have to come to the Hockey Expo again next year. I'm hoping I'll have at least one of them more.
I hope we get to come back, man, because that was absolutely phenomenal. I had never been out that way. So we were walking up to take a picture of the XL Energy Center, and the news cruise was there. And we just happened to be walking up, and we just said, "Hey, how's it going?" As we're just walking, because they got there right at the same time we did. And so they gave us a quick interview, and they're like, "So, are you here for the state finals game?" And we're like, "No, we're here for the Let's Play Hockey Expo." And they're like, "Oh, what's that all about?" So we kind of talked that up a little bit, and then of course me being from Michigan, and then my partner, he was from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So it was kind of like, not like necessarily fish out of water, but it was kind of like both enlightening for both of us, because we knew that the state finals was going on. We just didn't know that it was going to be held at the XL Energy Center. Because when we were watching the game, the quarterfinals on Thursday, we were watching it in the hotel room, and then the next day we're right there bright and early, and then we're on the news. It was pretty interesting.
Did you go to a game or not?
No, we didn't get a chance to. No, because there was like a wait list. They said that there's like a wait list of like 5 years.
Oh, that's probably for the champion. It can be tough to get into like the championship games, but some of the like the A hockey and all this, like you can, if you wait in line, you can get tickets. But it was crazy. We went to one Friday night, and there was 18,000 people watching a high school hockey game.
21,000 people at that Friday night game.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Yeah.
I was like, I was telling Franny, because during our interview, because the state finals in Michigan was going on the same weekend, but they were playing at like a 6,000 or 7,000 arena in Plymouth, which is not even, I was just like, and here you're at the Wilds facility, and you're packing the house, and I mean it was like insane.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a big deal here.
Yeah, when they say Minnesota's the state of hockey, they're not lying.
Yeah. Now we just got to get a team to the cup.
I know, right? Well, it's going to have a hard time getting past the Avalanche, so that's for sure.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. It's been a weird year. What the Boston's only, I think, was it Boston's only lost 12 games? I don't know. Yeah, it's,
Them in New York. It's going to be battling it out in the East Coast or on the Eastern side. So I'm
yeah,
lucky. I'm glad that we don't have to deal with those guys. But
yeah,
I'm excited to see because my Avs are starting to turn it around. I know it's
they
weird.
always
This is a
do.
guy who's a Colorado fan, and I was a Colorado fan before the whole fights thing started too. So that was imagine playing hockey over here and being a
Yeah,
fan during that time. That was some fun times.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So, but all right, man. So tell us a little bit more about. You got some more apparel coming out too, right?
I have I haven't been spending as much time focused on that, but yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of designs sitting out there ready to roll out. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of trying to get to all of it. I'm kind of a one-man band with a bunch of instruments here trying to make it all go. So, but yeah, we got some other designs to keep an eye out for. I'm hoping I can get some out. And we were talking earlier about, Filthy Fives is a compliment to hockey players, right? Filthy
Yeah.
mitts, having
Yep.
filthy hands is like having the moves, right? But for
Yeah.
us, it also means like putting in hard work, right? So we kind of have a double meaning on it, and so we're big on like work ethic and doing the work to reach your goals, whatever it is. If it's podcasts, second jobs, third
Yeah.
jobs, whatever it is, right? Hockey,
Yep.
whatever your
Whatever we
passion
can do.
is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there'll be some apparel like that hopefully coming out in the near future as well.
Cool. Cool. Well, so do you have any last words you want to throw out there that we should know? Where can we get um any of these products that we talked about today?
Yeah, so the best place to get it right now would be at my website, filthyfives.com with an S,
Okay.
filthyfives.com.
Yep. Yep.
Um, the Five Right has been up on Etsy. I've been looking at Amazon and stuff. None of that is live yet. So the best place to do it is direct. And honestly, that ends up helping for what it's worth. Anybody that's doing this kind of thing, it's like the small business idea versus the big box to me
Yep.
is something I've
Yeah.
learned, because like you go through Etsy and they take a cut, and you go through Amazon and
They
everybody
take
wants a
they
piece of
take a
you.
they take a huge cut, and this is just from when I with where I currently work at now, is that if they don't like how something is shipped to them, they ding you for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
it's that's been a whole different learning for a different type of
yeah,
podcast, but
yeah.
yeah.
I work in shipping and receiving, and I'm a shipping clerk right now, and that's just the stories that I'm hearing. Is just like what? Like how can
Yeah.
they? No wonder everything is cheap.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then, like stores locally and stuff too. Uh they want a lot out of you. Let's just put it that way. So
Well,
yeah, the best way you
they
can
want a
support
lot
us
right out.
is
Yeah.
just go right to us, and I can put a little note and extra stuff in your box for you because those guys can't, and then
Right.
you can get a little surprise when it arrives.
All right, Darren. Well, it's a pleasure chit chatting with you today. Like I said, do you have any other famous last words? Let's just go with that.
No, just keep putting in the work, right?
Right?
Come check us
Yeah.
out. Love to see you. Hopefully we'll
Yeah.
see you guys again, and I look
For
forward to the
sure.
unboxing when you guys get to open yours if you haven't seen it yet. So
Well, I'm Ben W. Stock. Thanks for listening to this episode of the GCH podcast. Darren, it was a pleasure having you on the pod, man. Appreciate you so
awesome.
much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. Have a great
All
one.
right. Cool.
Hey guys, Jake from Grove City Hockey here once again. We got another great product review from our hockey community from Filthy Fives, and we're going to take a look at what they sent us here. I have a pretty good idea what it is, but let's figure it out together. Whoa. So for those of you who don't know what this is for, this is a multi-use little piece of equipment here. So if I bend these side pieces like this, I believe this one comes down. How does this actually work? I like trying to figure this stuff out before doing these product shoots. A, because I want to get a good idea like how it works for me first before telling you guys how it works. So it looks like if you set this down, the intent from talking to the guys over at Filthy Fives is that this is a kind of a deker, and this is used to put out, work on your stick handling. You can do around the triangle or go through it if you're working in transition. But from reading online, this also, if I fold these up, this is the perfect little practice cleanup tool. There's a slot right here in the top that you put the end of your stick in, and it helps you clean up pucks really quickly at the end of practice. Now, this back piece adjusts a couple of different ways. So again, putting it down like this, and the guys over there were so kind to be able to put our logo on here. That again just helps create exactly what you want to do with it. So maybe you don't want to have it completely collapse down and not be able to use that back end. Maybe you want to work on stick handling around a defenseman's stick. Well, you can prop it up just like that. So once again, want to thank Filthy Fives for this great puck dozer. As you saw, the kids at practice loved it, able to use it exactly how they were intended. A little tougher on inline, I will admit, but for ice hockey, this is a no-brainer. The plastic will work well on the ice, not get waterlogged or heavy, and the friction's a lot less there, and it's really going to be awesome for ice hockey. But like I said, the kids at the inline practice absolutely loved it. It made their job easier. One of the things at practice we always make them do is clean up the pucks, and this shortens their time significantly. So thanks again to Filthy Fives for the puck dozer. Once again, all the information for ordering it will be in the description below. And I don't even think this is something that just coaches need to look at. If you even just have a couple of pucks and you're working at your local rink, this will help clean that up, sure. But again, that's not the only use of it. I really like this for deking. For it to be multi-purpose, really helps. So work on your stick handling, guys, at home. This is a great little nifty tool, and perfect for birthdays and Christmas. So make sure you check them out at filthyfives.com. And once again, thanks for the great puck dozer.